You've been buying electronics at the worst possible time. Every year, the average American household spends over $1,200 on electronics. But here's what most people don't realize. The exact same product can cost 30 to 57% less depending on when you buy it. This isn't about clipping coupons or chasing flash sales. It's about understanding the pricing calendar that manufacturers and retailers follow every single year. And once you see it, you'll never buy electronics the same way again. In 2025, Americans spent $44.2 billion during Cyber Week alone. That's $12.5 million every single minute at peak hours. Electronics led every category with discounts averaging 31% off peak prices. But here's the number that should really bother you. According to Visualping, a price tracking firm that monitored thousands of products across 25 major retailers, 33% of Black Friday deals weren't actually deals at all. Those products had been cheaper at some other point during the year. And when the deal was fake, the price was on average 37% higher than the product's actual low. The typical American household overpays roughly $1,274 per year on electronics, not because they're buying the wrong things, but because they're buying at the wrong time. Electronics follow a surprisingly predictable pricing rhythm. Every major product category has a life cycle. New models launch at full price, demand peaks, and then prices fall in a pattern that repeats year after year. Take TVs. Manufacturers announce new models at CES in January, ship them between March and June, and by the time next year's models are announced, last year's sets need to move off the floor. That clearance cycle creates buying windows where prices drop 20 to 50%. The same pattern applies to laptops, smartphones, and gaming consoles, each on their own calendar. Amazon takes this even further with dynamic pricing. They adjust prices on popular items up to 2.5 million times per day. A product you're watching right now might be $50 less by Thursday and $80 more by next Tuesday. Understanding these cycles isn't insider knowledge. It's publicly available data that most consumers simply never look at. TVs have the most dramatic price swings of any electronics category. There are 3 windows when prices crater. First, Super Bowl week in late January and early February. Retailers slash prices to drive foot traffic, with entry-level and mid-range sets seeing 18 to 30% cuts. In 2026, Best Buy had OLEDs starting at just $599 during Super Bowl. Second, late spring, when new models arrive on shelves. Retailers need floor space, and last year's inventory gets aggressive markdowns. This is actually the best window for premium sets. And third, Black Friday. In 2025, Hisense dropped their 65-inch U7 Mini LED from $1,500 to $748, a 50% cut. Samsung's 75-inch went from $1,298 to just $898. TCL's 75-inch hit a record low $698. Quick tip: September is the absolute worst time to buy a TV. New models have just been announced, but old stock hasn't been discounted yet. You're stuck paying close to full price for technology that's about to be replaced. Laptops have 2 major buying windows. Back-to-school season from July through August is when retailers compete hardest for student dollars, offering 20 to 35% off mid-range machines. Student discount programs from Apple, Dell, and others can stack an extra 10 to 15% on top. Black Friday brings the deepest cuts, 40 to 50% off select models, with doorbuster deals knocking $200 to $500 off popular configurations. But there's a wild card for 2026. Consumer reports flag that AI data centers are buying up global RAM supply, which could push laptop prices significantly higher. If you've been planning a laptop purchase, the normal buying windows may not apply this year. Earlier could actually be smarter. Quick tip: if you don't need the absolute latest processor, buy the previous generation. You'll get 90% of the performance for 40% less. Manufacturers practically give them away once the new version launches. Smartphones follow the most predictable cycle in all of electronics. Apple announces new iPhones every September. Samsung launches the Galaxy S series every January or February. And every single time, the previous generation takes a nosedive. An iPhone loses roughly 33% of its value within 3 months of a new launch, and 46% within the first year. Samsung phones depreciate at 46.6% over 12 months. The smart play is to never buy at launch. Wait 6 to 8 weeks after a new model drops. That's when carriers start offering aggressive trade-in deals to hit their quarterly targets. Samsung offered up to $900 off the Galaxy S26 Ultra with a trade-in in 2026. For iPhones, the sweet spot is October through November, after the September launch hype cools down. And if you're selling your current phone, use an independent buyback marketplace. They consistently pay 17 to 25% more than what carriers offer through their trade-in programs. Headphones and wearables have 2 major discount windows, and they're remarkably close in savings. Amazon Prime Day in July delivered AirPods Pro Max at $429, $119 off the regular $549, the cheapest price ever recorded. Sony's WH-1000XM4 dropped 35% that same week. Black Friday countered with Sony's WF-1000XM5 earbuds at $228, beating the Prime Day price by a single dollar. Premium brands like Bose, Sony, and Samsung typically see 30 to 55% discounts during both events. The honest truth? Neither event consistently beats the other. The real strategy is to track the specific product you want and pull the trigger at whichever event drops it lower. Smartwatches follow a similar rhythm, with the biggest discounts arriving right after manufacturers announce their next generation. Gaming hardware follows a strict holiday cycle. Black Friday is king. Sony slashed $100 off every PS5 model in 2025. The digital edition dropped to $399, the Slim to $449, and the Pro hit its all-time low of $649. But the real value isn't the console discount itself, it's the bundles. Holiday bundles package 2 to 3 free games worth $150 or more at the same console price. That's essentially a 25% bonus on your purchase. January post-holiday clearance can also deliver deals on discontinued configurations. For games themselves, Steam's summer and winter sales in June and December consistently offer 60 to 85% off major titles. Amazon Prime Day in July is solid for Nintendo Switch bundles and Xbox accessories, typically saving $30 to $70. Quick tip: never buy a gaming console by itself at full retail. Always wait for a bundle deal. The hardware price stays the same, but you walk away with $150 or more in free games. Smart home devices might be the easiest category to save on, because Amazon uses them as loss leaders. They sell Echo devices at or near cost during sales events to lock users into the Alexa ecosystem. That means the discounts are massive and predictable. During Prime Day 2024, the Echo Pop hit just $17.99. That's practically a rounding error for a smart speaker. The Echo Dot dropped to $24.99, and the Echo Show 5 went to $49.99. Black Friday delivered similar cuts, 30 to 56% off across the entire Echo lineup. Google Home devices follow the same playbook. Post-holiday January clearance typically brings another 18 to 25% off whatever remains on shelves. The bottom line: if you're building out a smart home, buy everything during Prime Day or Black Friday. You'll pay half of what everyone else does the rest of the year. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Black Friday generated $11.8 billion in U.S. online sales in 2025, a new record for the 4th year running. 87.3 million people shopped online that single day, and over 55% of those purchases happened on mobile phones. But here's what that Visualping study really revealed. Across 25 major retailers they tracked, 21 of them were advertising sale prices more than half the time, all year long. For 12 of those retailers, More than half of all tracked items showed inflated discounts nearly every single week. The worst offenders were in travel and gaming categories at 43% fake deals. Electronics actually fared better at 33%. But that still means 1 in 3 electronics deals on Black Friday isn't what it claims to be. Quick tip: before buying anything during a sale event, check the price history on CamelCamelCamel or Honey. If the current price isn't at or near the 52-week low, it's not a real deal, no matter what the red sale tag says. Here's the complete electronics buying calendar, month by month. January and February, post-holiday clearance on smart home devices, plus Super Bowl TV deals. March and April, last-generation laptops get marked down as new models roll in. iPad refreshes often happen in March. May and June, TV clearance season as new models fill the showroom floor. This is the sleeper window most people miss entirely. July, Amazon Prime Day. The single best event for electronics, deals across the board. Prime Day 2025 generated $24.1 billion in sales, equivalent to more than 2 Black Fridays combined. August, back-to-school laptop season peaks. The deepest educational discounts of the year. September, sell your current smartphone before the next generation announcement tanks its trade-in value. This is the single worst month to buy almost any electronic. October, Amazon's second Prime event offers another 20 to 45% savings window. November, Black Friday and Cyber Monday. The biggest overall discounts, but verify every deal against its price history. In December, holiday gaming bundles and last-minute smart home deals before the calendar resets. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember these 3 rules. Rule number 1, never buy at launch. Whether it's a new iPhone, a new TV model, or a new gaming console, waiting just 6 to 8 weeks saves you 20 to 35%. Early adopters pay the convenience tax so you don't have to. Rule number 2, track prices before you buy. Set up alerts on CamelCamelCamel for Amazon products, or install Honey in your browser. It takes 30 seconds and gives you a 12-month price history for any product. If the current price isn't near the 52-week low, wait. Rule number 3, buy the previous generation. Last year's model delivers 90% of the performance at roughly 40% less cost. Manufacturers want you to believe the newest version is essential. The data says otherwise. Follow these 3 rules consistently, and you'll save well over $1,000 a year on electronics. Which electronic are you planning to buy next? Drop it in the comments, and we'll tell you the exact best month to pull the trigger. And if you want the full month-by-month buying calendar for every product category, not just electronics, make sure you hit subscribe because that video is coming next.